Okay, Nadia, we can live. We can start.
Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted, Julistina.
Oh, sorry. Okay, can you hear now? Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good night to all my leaders, friends around the globe. Thank you, everybody, for joining me today in this infrastructure leading change session. As usual, every Sunday night we have this session. I would like to start with my introduction. My name is Julistina. I'm WWLC Infrastructure Leading Change President for Asia and also the Group CEO for the Hujan Asset Management. World Leading Change, World Women Leading Change was found by 40 women all around the world. World Leadership Conference under the wings of World Leading Change, World Women Leading Change. We want to encourage the world through leadership and aims to create the world's biggest online conference seminar amongst the world leaders to lead the changes in many sectors such as wellness, kids, youth, infrastructure, real estate, and we aim to give the social impact and share knowledge of wisdom. We'd like to create a regular conference daily. During the pandemic, we are the most active organization that we already conduct more than 150 conferences every day. Infrastructure leading change is one of the centers. We aim to share knowledge, expertise, information, access to the global project, and also networks, and also financing. Infrastructure, we believe that infrastructure plays a crucial role in our sustainable development in any country, especially in the developing country, that we will impact the life of the future generation and contribute positively to the potential economics of the country. We want to take the infrastructure to the next level, provide collaboration. So the intention is to create an impact solution on everyday's life. Today I'm going to be the moderator, and of course, I'm going to be together with our special ladies, our President Rebecca, our host President Rebecca Morudu, and also President Pacha. Today we are going also to have a lot of speakers that going to be very amazing night for us today. So without future delay, I would like to ask President Pacha and also President Rebecca to introduce themselves and also introduce all the presidents in the board tonight, in the coming tonight. And also would like to ask President Pacha to give the opening prayer, to lead the opening prayer. Without further delay, over to you, President Pacha and President Rebecca. President Pacha.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
President, maybe before, can we start by apologizing to our speakers for starting an hour late, to say that we had some challenges. They must not be surprised that we started after, and even thanking them for allowing us to have a session after an hour, from the scheduled time.
Yeah, thank you very much, all the speakers for the time, because actually we have a very what we call, we are traveling, we are in travel, so we have to reschedule that, but thanks God that we are now saving and just landed here, and we can have our conference as usual. Thank you very much for all the speakers for the time. Over to you, President Rebecca.
Yeah, maybe can we have President Kekezo Maema to open with a prayer?
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. If we could just bow our heads and close our eyes and pray. Heavenly Father, creator of the universe, how excellent is your name. We thank you, Father God, for the gift of life. We dedicate this session to you, Abba Father, and declare that it is well with you. We draw close to you this afternoon and request that you give us strength and purpose. Heal us from any scars that may prevent us from thriving and becoming the leaders you want us to be. We pray for manifestation of your love and wisdom as we engage in this session. We lift up our presidents, Father God, President Ayla, who created this platform for us, and all the other presidents of women, World Women Leading Change. Lord, bless them and keep them. Father God, make your face shine upon them and be gracious to them. Father God, we ask that you turn your face towards all of us and give us peace. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, President Pacha, you can continue.
Good day, everyone. My name is Pacha, Masengo Mamba. I'm the DRC president and also the president of agriculture. I would like first to thank each and every speaker. And without further delay, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our president, SADC president, President Debbie Dineo. President Debbie, can you have a word? Thank you.
Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening.
Wow.
Thank you so much, President Lesego, President Rebecca, President Julistina, President Keke, and President Pacha. And I can see my Excellency Seraki Matsebe in Taiwan. Thank you so much for really coming to share this skills and talents with us. We are really, thankful for for sharing even your talents and your experience with us. Thank you so much. Love and light. I'm speaking from South Africa, Gauteng, and today it was very hot. Thank you so much. Thank you, and all the speakers. I saw Tate Motebejani yesterday when we were celebrating the Zambia independence. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Debbie. You look wonderful. I like your hat.
Thank you. From Botswana with love. I've been having this hat for long. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Okay, President Keketsu, President Pacha, over to you again. Could you please introduce the speaker tonight also?
Thank you very much. I would like to introduce our first speaker, who is President Chess from Namibia. President Chess, over to you. Thank you. President Chess, are you in?
Yes, I'm in, President Pacha. Greetings, all my presidents. Greetings to Dr. Ayla, all the moderators, all the speakers, and obviously our Princess Debbie. I'm thankful for this opportunity that I'm given to present. I'm just setting up my Zoom so I can share my presentation. Just hold on for me, please.
Maybe for meantime, President Tina, can we inform all our speakers that you are having 10 minutes to present? And then if you are over your 10 minutes, we will inform you that you have exceeded your time.
Yeah, because we have 4 other speakers tonight, so we please keep our timing. So every speaker will have like 10 minutes for presentation, and then after that we're going to so we can have a time for the question and answer after that. Okay, I will give a sign when the time is up. Over to you, President Chase.
Greetings. My name is President Chase. Sorry, just hold on for me. Yes. My name is President Chase from World Women Leading Change, Namibia. I just want to give a short presentation about Namibia. So I don't know if I'm given permission to share my screen. Just hold on, please. Can I request the next speaker to speak, please? I seem to have been having technical issues.
Thank you, President Chase. We would like to call on Patrick Mobano. Can you please take over if you are available right now? Patrick is from the DRC. He is a business developer and he is a director in Lamage Investment. Patrick, please take over. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pacha, and all the distinguished presidents from this wonderful platform. I greet you all. And my name is Patrick. Like I'm introduced by Pacha, I'm the head business development at Lamage Investment. And today, this afternoon, I would like to briefly take you through the DRC and explain to you what are the opportunities that you wonderful women can make a difference. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you all see it?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
Okay, I'm just going to put it in a slide form. All right. So tonight I'm going to take you through a quick overview of the Democratic Republic of Congo. As you can see, the Democratic Republic of Congo is at the center of Africa, positioned in the Central African region, surrounded by Central Africa Republic, South Sudan, Congo, Brazzaville, and Angola. And all the countries that you can see highlighted in this map of Africa, apart from Angola, which is a Lusophone-speaking nation, all of those countries are French-speaking countries. And all of them, they use the franc CFA, at the exception of the DRC, which has its own currency, Congolese franc. So the Congo is the largest African country, sub-Saharan African country, with a population of about 90 million people. And as some of you may be aware, it's a country which is recovering from a series of conflicts. We've been through many wars since the beginning of 1990. And recently, the country has been on a good trend. We held our first, we had an election, but the one in 2018 was the first time that there had been an alternance of change of power without a coup or someone being removed by war. So that was a major achievement. And since Mr. Tshisekedi has taken over, the country has been on a good drive. The economy has been growing steadily at about 5-6%. Last year, it got reduced to about 4.4. This year, with the COVID, things got a bit slow. But overall, the economic prospect looks good. The main export of the country is copper and cobalt. Even though we do export gold, we do export timber, and we have the potential to export so many more commodities, especially agri-commodities. Just to take you back in the past, the DRC used to be a leading exporter of palm oil, and some of the innovation that they have now in Asia, particularly in Indonesia and Malaysia. The research center used to be in Yangabi in the DRC, but we fell back through bad management. So we can export palm oil, we can export cocoa, we can export coffee, we can export rubber. All these commodities used to be exported in the 70s and generating good foreign reserves. And the active population of the DRC is between 25 to 65, makes up about 30% of the population. And the new president has undertaken to establish major reforms to improve the business climate and to give the country good governance. You know, there have been some issues in the past of corruption plus war, but all these issues, fundamental issue in the economy of the DRC is being addressed, and the country, the risk level for debt is quite decent. Now, the opportunities that the DRC presents, there are many opportunities, but I'm going to zero in on a few critical opportunities. The first one is agriculture. You know, currently the DRC is spending billions of dollars, almost a quarter of its budget, to import food. And the strange part of that is we are importing food that we can easily produce locally. So the agriculture sector has been badly affected by war, and the majority of the people, especially the women in both the rural area or the urban area, depend on sustenance farming to look after their families. So with the destruction of the agricultural sector, all these women have gone into poverty. As a result, the family are suffering. So that is the major area of opportunity in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Studies have estimated that the DRC itself because we have a good rainforest, the soil is very arable. If we're to focus on agriculture and do it well, we can feed the whole of Africa. But unfortunately, at this stage, we are even importing the food. But that is a major point of opportunity. And that leads me to the second opportunity, which is directly linked to the first one, is the infrastructure. Currently, the road infrastructure, for instance, in the DRC, the telecommunication, the IT infrastructure, they are quite obsolete. And as a result, agriculture is suffering because the women who are producing, or not only the women, but I'm referring to the women because this is a women platform, they are struggling to take the produced goods to the center of point of consumption, to the big cities. So it is affecting them as well, and people get discouraged. So road infrastructure are needed, transport infrastructure, whether by the Congo River, and all form of transport infrastructure are needed urgently. And the third point of opportunity, which all of them form part of the problem, is there is no energy in the DRC. Only 10% of the population have access to electricity, even though potentially with the dam of Inga, we can produce electricity to supply the whole of Africa. And the last area of opportunity is in the healthcare sector. So all these opportunities that I'm speaking to you are the kind of opportunity that are basic. Every day someone has to eat, someone has to move around, someone needs electricity, and someone needs to look after the health. So these are the major area of opportunity in the DRC. And the challenge that we are currently facing in the DRC, it's mainly because there is low confidence in the country due to the past war, and as a result, the access to funding to do projects is very, very limited. And as a result, project cannot be done. There is a lot of bureaucracy and governance issues which are being addressed. And but the most shocking one is 43% of the children, they are malnourished, they don't have access to drinking water, and most of them, they also don't have access to proper sanitation. And as you can imagine, this makes it a vicious cycle of poverty, disease, and so on. But this problem can easily be resolved when we have proper infrastructure in place for water and good sewerage and all those kind of things. As you know, not only the DRC, but all over the world, the country is facing the repercussion of the coronavirus and Ebola, even though we handled Ebola successfully, but the impact of Corona, even though the infection rate has been very slow, but because they have not been traveling, the business sector has suffered tremendously. And in the eastern part also, there are some minor pockets of instability, but the new president is addressing those issues successfully. Now, for someone who wants to invest in the DRC, the process is quite simple. You have to formally register an entity in Congo and acquire the relevant licenses, depending on the sector of opportunity. You identify a viable project where there are studies, or if there are no study, you conduct a proper study. And then to work with the government, the best model is to work on public-private partnership, and whereby the government can seed an infrastructure like a road or an area where you have to produce electricity, and you can take those things on a 20-year contract, you run them, and then you recoup your money by the money that the client will be paying. And after that, obviously, the investor has to secure a source of funding. You know, what we find most of the time in the Congo, people come there, not only in Congo, all over, people come there and then they want to use the financial resources of the land. In the case of the DRC, the government does not have much money, so an investor needs to prepare financially. In terms of opportunity for the platform for the women, I've reduced the opportunities in 3 points. The first one should be in terms of the agri-solution. By that, you can do farming and then food processing as well at the second stage for beneficiation and to get higher value. And then infrastructure development, mainly around the road, housing and healthcare. And there is a huge opportunity around project finance. You know, you might come there purely as a financier. A lot of people have good projects which are viable, they lack funding. So in a nutshell, this is what I have for you for the DRC. And I'm open for some questions for my remaining minutes. Thank you. Any question?
Questions will be after all the speakers have presented. So now, thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. This was a presentation, I think, from us as WWLC, especially on the value. We have seen here that what we must look at when we do question and comment, we will inform you on how we will go and work with DRC. Thank you very much. So now our next speaker, yes,
I will excuse
thank
myself
you.
and then
You are going to leave.
I say I'm going to
Okay,
excuse myself. Pasha can take the question and then I can always respond.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll do so. And I think you can accept even if when we want to have one-on-one with you meetings, we will arrange that. Yeah, for further. Yes. Thank you. Okay, now I will call our next speaker, Ms. Lerato Pretorius. She is the CEO of Polycomba Real Contractors. And Lerato, she's a qualified project manager who holds a variety of diploma in business and banking as well as an MBA. So now the floor is yours, Ms. Lerato. You can share with us the good news that you are having with us.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to be a speaker. I feel very honored. And my presentation is going to be very short because my company is very small and it's very new in this space. Thank you for introducing me. My name is Lerato Pretorius. I am from South Africa. Polyzomba is a 100% Black-owned company, and we have we specialize in rail maintenance, rail building and rail maintenance. We have done quite a few work in Transnet. Our first big project was with Transnet. We were granted a contract in 2016 to 2011, where we did a few lines. The first corridors that we did, it was with the coal line, Natal main line, and the coal line. We did the first line that entails us to removing the formation and turnout replacement, which means that we have to remove the formation and the turnouts and reconstruct the new formations. And this exercise requires the occupation of the track, and that will require us to work for 24 hours. And we also installed the turnouts during where there was a major shutdowns. So we specialize in maintenance and installing the new lines. We have also done work in the Sishen and Saldana, which this line mainly is used for transporting or exporting the iron ore. The advantage that Polyzomba had was that we had to import the machine that does that has the new technology that has never been used in South Africa. And that machine is called the PM. We were the first company to bring this machine in South Africa. We also worked on Johannesburg to Durban line, that is a freight and passenger line. We work on the lines, other lines in South Africa, Bloemfontein, Kimberley, and other line nationwide. Zomba is also associated with a company that manufactures the maintenance that has got tools and heavy on-track machinery called Geismar. It's a French company. And currently we are doing the maintenance in Northern Cape. And we are doing 23 kilometers maintenance at a mine owned by Colomela, and this mine is also by Anglo-American. It's one of the Anglo-American division. So in a nutshell, maintenance, what we do is everything around the track we can do. We can do the track maintenance, we can do welding, we can do electrical work, we can do OHTE, those lines that we see around above the track, we can do the maintenance, we can install the new ones, we can do the signal work, and we can do what we call the non-destructive testing. We are proud to say that we also partner with the newly women-owned companies in the small towns. I have partnered with a woman-owned company in Rustenburg, and I have left the legacy there where the lady can independently do the work. And currently in the Northern Cape, in Colomela, I am doing enterprise development, meaning that I am working with a company that is owned by a local person, and I am doing the training for students that are freshly from school, and they are doing training freshly, and when they are ready, we take them to Transnet School of Rail, because Transnet is the only company that can do the training. It's only the company that is accredited to do the training. And I am proud to say that I like empowering other women-owned companies, and I like to leave a legacy wherever I have worked. I think in a nutshell, that's what Polyzomba does. And I wanted to ask Mr. Patrick, I did not see any opportunity in DRC about rail. I have done a feasibility study in DRC, but I never managed to get to do the work. I think the work was done by a Chinese company. So I would like to pursue that, Mr. Patrick. I think outside this discussion, I can talk to you if you don't mind.
Okay, thanks. I think with Mr. Patrick, it will be good. You will do through, this sessions is the sessions that it makes us all to collaborate, to work together. So WWLC will be a vehicle now. So that's why you are here today as our guest speaker, which is an honor, even for us as women who are in infrastructure, that we are going to learn even from you with all other women in our organization.
In closing, I wanted to just highlight that I think using a rail is much more safer, it's much more cheaper. In one of the articles that I wrote, I have mentioned that I would like to connect a rail in the whole of Africa from Cape to Cairo. The strategy that we have, the short-term strategy that we have, is to make sure that we work in the neighboring countries. And we would like to also invite other women-owned companies to work with. And the nearest countries that I have had inquiries are in Namibia, and Botswana and Mozambique. Polyzomba has also have a company in Botswana. It's called Polyzomba Botswana. So one of the challenges that we have is we, as a company, is we have to go into the countries and go and present to the governments, and governments has made stipulations that we need to work with the local owned company, which is something that also what happens in South Africa, that we have to make sure that the tenders are always out and we have to comply with the regulations of the government. So we also follow the regulations in each and every company, every country that we go into. Same as Malawi, we also get requests from Malawi companies to partner with them. Mozambique, the same thing, and Namibia, the same thing applies. So from here, I thank you for inviting me. I'm very honored and privileged to make this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Don't leave, we will wait for questions and comments from other members of our organization and even the guests that are here today. So thank you very much. President Pacha, you can take over.
Thank you very much, President Rebecca. I would like to go back President Chase from Namibia. President Chase, are you all right now? Can you present?
Yes, President Pacha, I can present. My apologies, sometimes technology can get the best of us. So, yes. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. I'll just do a short presentation on Namibia. So Namibia is is situated in the southern part of Africa, as we all know. It has one of the it's one of the political stable countries in Africa. We gained independence in March 1990. Our neighboring borders are obviously South Africa, Zambia, Botswana, and Angola. Although we are not directly connected to Botswana, to Zimbabwe. There's only a few meters between us and Zimbabwe. And we are also part of the SADC member countries and SACU, which gives us access market to approximately 300 million people in Africa. So just a small economic status of Namibia. Our population is 2.5 million. Our area, our country is basically 419 square kilometers. Unfortunately, it's mostly semi-arid. That means we have little rainfalls, and we can credit that to the Namib Desert that we have, as well as the Kalahari Desert. And obviously, our coastal areas, how it is, like we have the Benguela Current, which is mostly causing drought in most parts of the country. Although we have the northern part of Namibia where we receive sufficient rainfalls. Our currency is Namibian dollars. Our GDP as it stood in 2019 was $5,842 US, and our GDP was $11,266 US. Namibia has a vast number of opportunities that we can offer the world, and some of the opportunities are obviously our mineral resources. We have vast, abundant natural resources that we can share in the world that world women leading change can also invest into. That is our diamond. We are also, we produce high quality diamonds. And then we are number 5 when it comes to to supplying the world with uranium. Other natural resources include lead, copper, zinc, gold, semi-precious stones, salt, and industrial minerals. And some of these precious stones, there's actually a need to have cutting and polishing infrastructure, manufacturing businesses in Namibia are needed. So we can look into that. Other core products include fisheries. Our coastal area we have a vast amount of fish, and we are one of the top exporters of fish. And when it comes to agricultural products, we have red meat. Our red meat market is actually divided between the southern part and the northern part. I'm sure Botswana will attest to having the red line, which is segregating a portion of our country due to foot and mouth disease. So that market has not been explored yet. Although foot and mouth disease has been under control for the past few years, we've been managing and maintaining it. So there's a need to incorporate the northern part of Namibia into the export of red meat. Other producers include maize, millet, groundnuts, and beans. There's also a need for manufacturing. We have, for example, in agriculture, we need agro-processing plants, and also we also need value-adding entities to agricultural products that are needed. When it comes to education, higher education is fairly met. We have one of our biggest institutions is the University of Namibia, and the Namibian NAST is another organization for our education. But what we lack is vocational education. So that's one market that can also be explored in Namibia. Oh, just one thing that I forgot on agriculture is we need agricultural equipment, investment on agricultural equipment, because most of our agricultural sector is, especially the communal one, is mostly using the low end, the manual equipment for agricultural purposes. So there's need for investment on that part. So these are most of the consumed products, what Namibia imports mostly. We import fuels, ships, machinery, vehicles, electrical, ores and slag as articles and steels, as you can see. Just going on to my next slide. These are the deficiency skills that we need in Namibia. That's automotive, banking sector. We need microfinancing. That is an opportunity that we can also look into. Insurance, telecommunication is one of the major investment. I think all Africa needs. For example, we've been complaining about data, the need for data, and we have data issues here and there, and there's a need for us to invest into telecommunication, the telecommunication industry. And for transport and logistics, I will just go a bit more into detail on that part. So this is how Namibian roads and infrastructures look like at the moment. As you can see, our neighboring countries, we have one of our biggest ports is the port in Walvis Bay, and we have another smaller port, which is Lüderitz. Lüderitz still basically needs a bit of more upgrading for us to use it for more international transportation and shipping. So we're still managing that. Namibia is still busy on working on that. And here, our road infrastructure is actually quite good at the moment, although there's a need for the railway infrastructure. So I would really love for the previous speaker who spoke before me to come and invest more on the railways. There's probably an opportunity for you in Namibia. I'm sure you have had talks with that. And I just want to go in details about our roads. Our roads are actually one of the best roads that we have in Africa, and they are highly maintained by our government. So here is some of the roads that we have. We have the Morudu that connects South Africa and Angola, passes through from all the way from South Africa to the Angola border, and it's highly maintained. And this road covers 1,694 kilometers. We have the Valvespe-Okahanja Road, which is which covers 285. We have other roads that also leads to Windhoek to Beta Post, which is the border to Botswana, and one to Zambia. These roads are well maintained, but we have a deficiency when it comes to ungraded roads. These are internal roads that are that go into towns, or for example, tourism destinations. These roads need upgrading, and there is a market for it in Namibia, because currently our government is focusing on the roads that link us to other countries in the world. And when it comes to our power supply, Namibia consumes more electricity than we can produce at the moment. We are importing some of our electricity from South Africa, Mozambique, and Zambia. There is a market for investment when it comes to renewable electricity. And this is actually a very good opportunity, because since Namibia is semi-arid, we have vast land that we can use for creating solar renewable energy. And also we have the coastal areas that we can also use to harvest wind. And we can also look into hydropower. Although hydropower is limited, I say this because sometimes it can rely on having enough water, and sometimes we as Africans or as Namibia, we go through droughts. So that's a limit for hydropower. And for when it comes to our electricity in Namibia, we have one major player which is partially state-owned, which is NamPower. They are the ones who foresee the power and electricity in Namibia, and they also see the tendering of importing of electricity to other countries. We have smaller bodies that are also state-owned that foresee electricity, which are NORAD, which is for the south, SINORAD for the coastal and for the coastal areas, and SINORAD for the central areas, and IRONGORAD for the coastal areas. When it comes to investment, Namibia is open for investment, although we have to go through the Ministry of Trade and Industry in order to invest in Namibia, but we welcome investors from all around the world. That's for my presentation today. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow.
Thank you, President Chase. That was a good presentation for Namibia. You'll just wait for our questions after our last speaker. So our next speaker, it's one of the great ladies who's going to present for us, especially on the agricultural side, and especially on the side of the projects that they're doing. So I will introduce Anike. Anike is, her profile is so big. Anike, you'll just share a few. I just saw that we're also even working for SABC, ENCA. It's a lot. Your profile is so huge. Just share with us the few that you want us to know, and then we can start the presentation. Thank you very much. Yeah.
All right, that's perfect. Thank you very much. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm just going to start by sharing my screen so that we just get that going. All right, just let me know as soon as you can share my screen.
Yes, we can
Right.
see your.
Okay, perfect. You can see my screen. Just put that this way, right. All right, I'm going to get going now. All right, so my name is Annika de Beer and I represent, sorry, before I start, let me just say, good day to all the presidents, the moderator and distinguished guests. I am honored to be here today and to present to you. My name is Annika de Beer and I'm a meteorologist, but more recently I've also started working as an ESG analyst, and I will speak a bit more about that on the next slide. I am here today representing an entity called Restore Africa Funds, and the theme of today's webinar is infrastructure, agriculture, and real estate. And I will speak specifically to agriculture today through the work that we do at Restore Africa Funds. So Restore Africa Funds is an impact investment fund, meaning we have a strong ESG focus, mainly in the sector of regenerative agriculture. Now, ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. And that places focus on addressing some of the environmental and social issues that we have while doing business in a respectable and honorable manner. Now, ESG ties in with securing a sustainable future and making decisions today that will change our tomorrow for the better. What excites me so much is that we are seeing more and more businesses adopting principles that will advance sustainability and that have a positive impact. So my role at Restore Africa Funds is that of ESG analyst, which means that I primarily focus on the impact that we are having. And if I can explain our ESG very briefly, from the environmental side, we have the phrase heal the land, which means that we restore the soil and ecosystems as well as agricultural land by applying regenerative agriculture. And I will speak a bit more about regenerative agriculture in one of my next slides. From the social impact side, we like to use the phrase heal the people. Now, this refers to a physical healing through producing healthier food in a sustainable manner, but also a metaphorical healing where we start mending broken relationships. And if you know anything about my home country, South Africa, and our history, you would know that we still need to do a lot of social healing. And we try to do that by starting with the local farming community and our individual projects, and then slowly building up relationships, expanding our social impact regionally and nationally, and then beyond that. And our governance impact means we align our business principles and policies to the mandate of heal the land, heal the people, and we do business with integrity. All right, so a little bit more about who we are. So Restore Africa Funds are operationalized by the following: Integra and Asset Research, which comprise of a whole team of scientists from agronomists, soil scientists, natural resource scientists, and even economists. And they all work together and are responsible for the practical implementation of regenerative agriculture and the practical part of the business, as well as the research. On the social side, we have You Can Grow. They focus primarily on the family farmer and the social development, as well as measurement. And then on the governance side, we have Integrity Asset Management and WALCO. Now, these two are responsible for the financial governance and financial governance best practice, as well as the financial and investment management. So our mission is heal the land, heal the people. Restore Africa Funds were constructed around the centralized mandate, and we believe this can be achieved through our long-term goal, which is the production, the distribution, and utilization of food produced with integrity that will heal the land and heal the people. So the problem that we are addressing is a significant challenge that one experiences in enabling the rapid and widespread adoption of regenerative agricultural practices. And there's a systemic failure in obtaining funding for these initiatives. So what we do is our solution offers an institutional solution by providing an opportunity to partner with land managers and landowners to advance restorative practices that will yield a benefit. So we use regenerative agriculture and the restoration of soil as our catalyst for change on a wide scale. We start with the soil, regenerate this natural asset, and then we use it to improve the quality and the quantity of the food produced. We then feed our people with nurturing food while simultaneously having a wide range of beneficial impacts on both a social and economic level. So together, all of this will drive the healing of the people. Just go to the next one. Alrighty, so we align ourselves with the following international frameworks that advocate for change. Internationally, there is a big drive towards ESG and ensuring that we change our ways to have a positive impact. So
Okay,
the first,
Annika,
yes.
I think we don't see your slides. Since you have put the first slides, the other slides that you are speaking of.
Oh, you're not seeing? What is
yes,
the slide that you are seeing at the moment?
heal the land and heal the people. And the second one on the side is the ESG, a broader impact. Maybe if you can put a...
Okay, on my side, I'm already on the 4th slide. So let me try and just fix that.
Yeah, you can be on the 4th slide, fine, because you spoke about all those other ones.
Yes, I'm just, okay, let me try and see if I can get you to also see that. Whoopsie. Okay.
I think you are not in the
Let's make it a full screen.
full screen. Yeah.
Okay, it is full screen on my side. I'm just quickly going to stop sharing it and just reshare it again. Hopefully that will solve the problem. Apologies for this. Okay, let me just start sharing again. All right, just let me know if you can see a screen now that says high-level action towards mending relationships.
Yes, this is better.
Yes, yes, you can see it.
Perfect. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened there. Alrighty, so I was just busy explaining the international frameworks that we align ourselves with. And the first one is the United Nations Global Compact. This is a set of 10 principles that we align our business with. And these 10 principles then focus on protecting human rights, creating a safe working environment, protecting and respecting the natural environment and resources, as well as being honest and anti-corrupt in our business ventures. Then the second framework is the Sustainable Development Goals. I'm sure I do not need to speak more about this. I'm sure we're all aware of the 17 goals that the United Nations National Assembly identified as priorities that we must all work on globally if we want to ensure a better and sustainable future for all of us. And the aim is to achieve these goals by 2030, and Restore Africa Fund supports these goals. And I will speak a little bit more about the SDGs on my next slide. Then we have the United Nations Decade of Ecosystem Restoration. Now, this decade emphasizes the importance of protecting aquatic and terrestrial ecosystems. And we do exactly that by converting conventional farms to regenerative agricultural farms. And by doing that, we restore and protect the soil's ecosystems. And then lastly, the United Nations Decade of Family Farming. And this decade, we also understand that the family farmer has a crucial role to play in ensuring food security and improved livelihoods of the rural communities. And it is our duty to help these families protect and manage the natural resources that they are the custodians of. Alrighty, I'm going to go to the next slide. So hopefully this time around, it also goes to the next slide for you. Can you see my next slide? Addressing all 17 of the UN SDGs. Is that what you guys are also seeing?
Yes, yes, we can see that.
Okay, great stuff. So now it's working. Perfect. So I touched on the United Nations SDGs earlier, and what is so exciting about regenerative agriculture is the various impacts that one can have by doing that. And you can address all 17 of the United Nations SDGs through regenerative agriculture. Now at Restore Africa Funds, we primarily focus on the following: SDG number 1, no poverty; number 2, zero hunger; number 3, good health and well-being; 6, clean water; 8, decent work and economic growth; 12, responsible consumption and production; 13, climate action; and 15, life on land. Right, I'm just going to go to the next slide as well. Please just say as soon as you think my slides are not moving again. So I've spoken about who we are, but let's speak about what we do. So our business is regenerative agriculture, and that is a sustainable and climate smart way of farming where the soil is restored and regenerated, which allows for healthier food to be produced in a way that's also healthier and less harmful to the environment. So one must think about soil as being a living organism. Healthy soil is alive, and we must keep it alive. And how do you do that? You do that by changing the conventional farming practices and returning to a more natural way of farming. So practically, what one must do is understand that the soil is a living organism. You must minimize soil disturbance, in other words, no-till farming, maximize crop diversity, keeping the soil covered. You have to think about soil as something that's, as I said already, that's alive. And as we do for ourselves, we protect our skin from the sun, and we must do the same with the soil. We must also maintain a living root year-round because there are important interactions and exchanges taking place between the atmosphere, the crop or the plant, and the soil. And we need those exchanges to take place, the exchanges of nutrients and minerals. And for that, we need that living root. The other thing that helps with a living root in your soil is it stops wind and water erosion. And then lastly, also integrating livestock. That is important where and when applicable. This can be a great way of natural fertilizing for your soil. So going on to the next slide. Whoopsie. All right. This is a really great slide. So now we get to the financials of soil and regenerative agriculture. So if you have dirt and you add soil organic matter, then you end up with soil. And that is what you need. That is what we want for agriculture. But when you have soil and degradation is taking place, you end up with degraded soil, soil that starts approaching dirt. And that is not what we want. But let's say you are in a situation where you have degraded soil, or soil that's approaching dirt, then you need to add high external inputs to sustain your yield. And that means your profits will start going down. Or you have degraded soil and you cannot add all these external inputs. You do not have the capacity or the financials to do that. Then your yield will also start to decrease. And as a result, you will also have lower profits. So what can you do in this situation? So if you have degraded soil or dirt and you start restoring the soil, this can take time, between 4 to 7 years, and even longer than that, depending on the soil, the climate, and various other factors. But if you start restoring the soil, you will eventually end up with restored soil, which has an increased soil organic matter once again. And then you can start rebuilding the ecosystems within the soil and improving the health of your soil. And that also means you can produce healthier food, because you do not need all these external inputs of fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, and all those things that we now know can be harmful to our health. And also what you will then have is the long run security and supply, as well as risk mitigation. Okay, I'm going on to the next slide. You should be seeing Project Heal at the moment. So at Restore Africa Funds, we focus on projects with an impact, and one of these projects is Project Heal. And Project Heal addresses food inadequacies and hunger. Just go on to the next slide. Right, Project Heal is an initiative that was started by Integra Trust in collaboration with Restore Africa Funds and various other partners. The goal of Project Heal is to feed starving communities in South Africa. Because 2020 has been a very challenging year for all of us, and unfortunately it's pushed some of the poorest people amongst us to the point of starvation. Food inadequacies in South Africa now affect between 15 and 30 million people a day. And that is not just in South Africa, it's across the rest of Africa and many other parts of the world as well. Now, from this need, Project Heal was born to bring some relief in the form of a warm plate of food. So we provide a nutritional maize meal in a way that's not only healthier to the people, but also the environment by making use of regenerative agriculture to produce the maize. We are part of every step of the process to produce the maize meal, therefore ensuring that corn on a field somewhere in South Africa becomes a warm plate of food for someone that's in need. And we do all of that for less than 1 South African Rand 50. And if I have to say how much that is in US dollars, that will be less than 0.1 US dollars. So Project Heal is all about making a difference in people's lives while at the same time healing the land in the process. Alrighty. So Project Heal, we work alongside our distribution partners, which are all large-scale NGOs that are involved in distributing the food parcels to those in need at grassroots level. The maize meal is provided free of charge to the NGOs and the people in need, but we make use of donations. So as I always say, when I have the opportunity, if there's anybody who can donate or know of people who will want to donate, please tell them about our project. And Project Heal is just one of the many examples of what is possible if we change our mindset to be impact orientated. And then I want to leave you with this last thought, which says that having a positive impact is a choice. And the wonderful thing about that is we get to make that choice every single day. And I hope that we will start choosing change and choosing positive impact. All right, I'm going to go to the last slide now. Thank you very much for this opportunity. There's all my details on the screen. My name is Annika. You can send me an email at annika@restoreafrica.com, or you can also look at our website, www.restoreafrica.com. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Annika. That was good. Yeah. So we can see now our countries, the areas people will have a meal to eat in, which will be so cheap. About how you are doing your projects. I think your projects are very good, and I will look at it as WWLC, and I will have to work with you on this project here. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
President Pacha, you can continue.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Annika, for your wonderful presentation. I would like to present our last but not the least speaker, Mr. Levi Ntombazana. I hope I'm pronouncing well your name. Brand Administrator, Africa Tourism Board, Deputy Chairperson, ATB Ambassadors. Mr. Levi, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope you can all hear me. Let me start by requesting Nzedia before I proceed to share my slides with you. While she's busy doing that, I would like to acknowledge His Excellency, the Honorable Ambassador of South Africa in Taiwan, Honorable Ambassador Seraki Matsebe, for being part of this wonderful occasion.
Please unmute yourself, sir.
Can you hear me? All right, thank you. Let me request Nzedia to share with you. While Nzedia is busy doing that, I would love once more again just to start to acknowledge His Excellency, the Honorable Ambassador in Taiwan, Honorable Seraki Matsebe, and our host, President Rebecca Morudu, and our global president, Aila, and the Namibian president of WWLC, our speakers present here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Today, Africa needs to rise and shine through infrastructure development. Without infrastructure, we will never achieve goals of 2063. We will never develop or make changes across African society. Nadia, are you able to share my presentation?
Yeah. President Tina, can you assist?
Okay, President, can I carry on?
You can continue,
yes.
President. Tina will assist on that.
All right, yes. If we look at the population of Africa, we are more or less billions of people. Out of that, we're looking at 58% of population is women. Out of the 58 population of women, 38% are youth, and those youth are girls. Our girls in the entire society, they lack opportunity they lack job opportunity, infrastructure. Through infrastructure, we can make changes in the entire society. It is high time that Africa look at the empowering women, because empower women. Women are the leaders of society. Leaders are the role model. Women are leaders in different society. They are the mothers of the nation. Therefore, if we empower women across Africa, we shall definitely accomplish and achieve some of the vision and the mission of Agenda 2060. Infrastructure development in terms of another infrastructure, if we look at the mining industry, women are highly excluded. And mining is one of the avenues which can create better opportunities for our women to be employed. And let's go to the next slide, Nadia. At the next slide, I think I've already addressed that. Right. If we look at the poor, go back again to the other slide. Thank you very much. If we look at the infrastructure, the poor infrastructure which African countries has, they worsen the impact crisis of COVID-19 pandemic. If we turn a blind eye to all this infrastructure development, the community or the suffer most are women and girls. So it is high time that organizations that like World Women Leading Change should be supported by all the 54 countries of Africa, so that we are able to bring changes in the society. Because if we empower women, we empower the nation. Go to the next slide. Thank you. I mean, if we look at the most people who have been affected or suffered during the COVID-19, many of them are women. And this cause particularly in the rural areas, it was caused by a lack of infrastructure. So the more we invest in the development of infrastructure, where our clinics, our schools, our rails, our hospitals are in a better position, definitely we will be able to create job opportunity for young girls, for women, and then
We can hear.
Infrastructure holds a key role in functioning of our world, enabling access to basic services and developed opportunities to all. The importance of infrastructure for development will address the gender disparity, because if you look at the gender-based violence, because of lack of proper infrastructure, particularly in the rural areas where there is no electricity, women are being raped because of lack of lights during the night. But if we have proper infrastructure, this will be minimized. Let's go to the next slide. Infrastructure resilience is critical for women, because when infrastructure system fail, women and girls are usually disproportionately affected by the loss of infrastructure services. Like, as I've mentioned earlier, like where there is a poor infrastructure of hospitals and clinics, the main people who are highly affected are our women. Organizations like WWLC, if they can invest more in the future generation, young who just matriculated, who are not employed, and encourage them to be part of this industry, which was for so many years dominated by men, we will make a difference into the society. The next slide. Women and girls have specific and different needs to men. We all know that they need water. Water comes through the infrastructure development. If we don't have enough water, a good proper infrastructure, running water, it will affect them. Just imagine a community of plus minus 500 people, young girls there, during their cycle period, when women are pregnant and there is no running water, no proper infrastructure, what they pay to that community. So it is really, really important to address this poor infrastructure into society, that it will definitely uplift the lives of our people. The next slide. For example, I think this one, let's pass, let's just go to the next one again. By doing so, Honorable President, we'll be able to achieve some of the Agenda of 2063 objectives. And I hope that our audience and panelists present today will take this assignment, this project home, to go and make difference in the 54 countries of Africa, so that we make changes. It is high time that we invest in our own people. We change the thinking tank of our people. We make our people to do things differently, so that we're able to get a different result. If we don't empower women, we will never be able to achieve or to address some of the vision and the mission of Agenda 2063. Let's go to the next slide. Right. On the slide, let's look at the people who are crossing the river. We're supposed to have a bridge. Our young girls, how do we expect them to get a better education? They arrive school already stressed because of poor infrastructure or lack of infrastructure. On my left side photo, you can see that is an incomplete structure. And I believe if women were involved in the building of that particular bridge, this could have never been happened. Because women, by virtue of their birth, they are mothers, they are leaders. They think ahead. Complete structures. It is high time that mothers of the nation take the lead and build the nation so that in 10 years to come, we don't see this particular photo we see on the right. The next slide. You look at these two pictures. It's project, sorry, just go back again. Go to thank you. If you look at these two pictures, there's no women who are participating. And this is about job creation. How can we address a lack of opportunity for jobs for our women if we don't include them in this kind of project when we are developing and improving and doing infrastructure for our people? It is high time that in the infrastructure development like this one you see on the picture, women and young girls should participate. As they participate in the mining, the women have got the capacity to do what men can do. And if women are participating in infrastructure development, definitely we will address lack of jobs in our society, the entire continent. Go to the next slide. Thank you. We see the smaller houses down on my left and the bigger houses on my right. We are going to be the developers of their own house. In many instances, the houses we own, we have never been able to manufacture the brick, nor even to manufacture the glasses. It is high time that Africa rise and shine. Before we even thinking of the house, let's think of the brick. Let's think of creating industries for our people. If we create industries, we're creating job opportunity, and it one teach one. It is high time that this left side photo should change to the right side photo on my picture. By so doing, we will be developing Africa, so that the future generation should never complain of the problem we are having. They must be able to fight for the opportunities which we have created for them. The next slide. This is the closing slide. We can see that the very same poor young girls, because of lack of infrastructure, automatically it shows you that there is no tap water there. There are no dams. The poor girls have to fetch water away as if African countries are not independent. It is high time that in the 2 decades to come, we must never see a young girl still being exposed to danger in the river, fetching water where there are crocodiles, whereas there are women of today, women of WWLC, who are available to make changes in our society. Let's support women and make sure that this picture of seeing our daughters fetching water from the river will never ever be seen in the African continent in 5 years to come. The next slide. Or just go back before this one. Let me talk to those bridges there. Go back to the last slide before this one. Thank you very much. If we look on the right-hand side, we see highways and bridges. Can we turn those bridges that we must exchange our ideas? Let not only be the roads to move from one province to another. As we gather here today, ladies and gentlemen, with special respect, we deserve. Let's exchange ideas. You cannot sometimes survive on your own. You need other people to survive. Let's use this kind of a network to exchange, embrace one another, so that we're not only crossing the highways, we're crossing our ideas, so that somebody in Morocco, somebody in Indonesia, somebody in Namibia, in South Africa, we exchange ideas so that we make a difference in our society. Let's exchange ideas and work together so that the future of Africa should be much brighter than it is now. The last slide, I hope so. Thank you very much for the opportunity, President Rebecca and all guests. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Levy from our Africa Tourism Board. I think today all the speakers you presented well, and in which is what is one of our objective as WWLC, that as women entrepreneurs, we have to encourage each other, we have to inspire other leaders, other business women within our organization. We also have to network and collaborate in various sectors of our businesses. So today's session was to collaborate and even to speak on the 3 different sectors which are key in our countries, especially in our region, especially in Africa. So where we said infrastructure, agriculture, real estate goes together, because if you have also listened to the first speaker, he said you can't do anything of infrastructure, of agriculture, before you can have a proper infrastructure. And when I listened to other speakers, they also spoke on what our government is looking at, especially when we look at the SDGs, when we look at the Agenda 2063, which is the programs that our government should achieve through working with private partners or through working with us as businesses within our own organizations. So today I can see we have various presidents from other countries. I saw President Dauphin from Zambia. I saw President Philomena from Mozambique. I see Princess Jabusile Mahlangu. She's also in. I saw also President, I saw a lot of our presidents from other countries being part of this session, which says, it says to us, all the speakers, what they have Okay.
Hello.
My apologies. I think today the network, President Tina, we have a challenge of network. I'm using 2 gadgets and they all, just lose connection. So I was saying, this is one of our objective of leading change, that we must take all the presenters that there was, the presentations that were presented to us to make it work, and then for us also to partner with all projects that were presented today, and even requesting some of Lerato, President Chase is always with us, to join us, and so that we can hold hands and work together. And maybe on the Africa Tourism Board, we can say we lobby them to have an MOU with them, so that we can work together, the African countries, we can do most of our projects together with them, as they are already in the 54 countries. So before, maybe, I don't know, President Ayla, is she in? Maybe we request President Ayla just to be the first person to ask questions, and after I will allow other members to ask questions and also have input. But let's start first with questions before we can have a other comments? Yeah, I thank you, President Celestina. You can take over. President Ayla.
Yes, President Rebecca, I don't want to ask questions. I'm just feeling very, very proud of where we are going, where we are achieving, and the future ahead of us. And I want to congratulate this center, especially infrastructure, to both of you, President Rebecca and President Juliastina, and of course our Vice President, President Debbie, for an amazing achievement going this far with infrastructure. And we hope that in the near future that we can slowly make what we put the seed during pandemic happening. And we can help many women to be empowered first and then rising, especially in Africa. Love and light from Jakarta.
Thank you, President Ayla, for your comment and also speech. Thank you very much for all the speakers. I always amazed every time because we always have a very great speaker and inspirational speaker today. And now, is there any comment or any question to raise for all the speakers here? Is there any comment from President Debbie?
Yeah, oh, thank you so much. It was so empowering, you know, and, you know, that excellent knowledge that we got from the presenters. And it's not a question, it's just a comment to say that we cannot allow a stunt growth, malnutrition at this time and era. When my learned brother, when he was presenting, he said that there is a challenge with malnutrition, and having such, you know, green, you know, very, very nutritious fruits, nutritious vegetables here in Africa, and we are still having children with stunt growth. It cannot. And whilst we want to lead change. And I also even liked, you know, the issue of the trains. Is it is it trains? Yeah. I was asking myself, rain. I was asking myself, is it private owned or routes? Are those private routes or is it a government routes? And I remember when I met with President Alice, we said that we want to see ourselves, you know, traveling from Cape to Cairo, from Somali to Nigeria, just zigzag. And I think it's possible. And coming to Anika de Beer, Heal the Land, you know, I think you are speaking to those, to the gentleman who was presenting about the stunt growth and the malnutrition in Africa. There's malnutrition when Africa is so rich. It is possible if we hold hands, as our ambassador from tourism have said. He said that let our ideas, our knowledge be the one that really unite us, and even the one that, you know, goes through the highways. It should be the highways of knowledge, of ideas, and it is possible. And it is possible. If I can be answered with the issue of the rail, whether it's private owned, and even why we are having stunt growth and malnutrition in Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Debbie, for your insight and comments. Maybe Princess Jabugusile, is there any comment from you also, or any other participant also can have any comment and question before we close this session?
Maybe from my side, President Tina, mine was for Patrick of DRC. I know he's not in. Maybe I'll just check with President Pacha. President Pacha, I saw on the presentation where Mr. Patrick was speaking on the value of for WWLC, on what we can come and speak of with the DRC on the agri-solution and the issue of infrastructure. And when he was speaking on infrastructure, he also spoke about road, rail, and any other infrastructure for transport. Can we maybe check with you on how is your rail system in DRC? And then again on the project finance, I didn't hear him outlining what is the project finance it's all about. Maybe if you have info, you can just share with us what is that. Yeah, thanks. I think maybe Ms. Lerato can maybe come in for the question of President David.
The question of whether the rail is government or privatization, the rail in South Africa is state-owned. Like I said, that it belongs to Transnet. The standard of the rail is obviously from Transnet. The private rail, it's also the standard of Transnet, but they always have a back-to-back agreement with the private sidings. So standard is always Transnet, but they have a back-to-back agreement with the privately owned sites. But we can speak with Madam Debbie further regarding the rail infrastructure. And also I would like to have a conversation with Mr. Patrick regarding the infrastructure in DRC. And also the madam in Namibia as well, because we get a lot of inquiry every 6 months from Namibia, wanting partners in South Africa who are experienced in terms of doing some work in Namibia. So it is not easy for a small company like Polyzomba to do this kind of work on our own. It will be nicer if we can have a discussion with World Women League Change to be able to partner and do this work, especially when it comes to also doing the finance of this kind of magnitude of work. I am excited. I'm looking forward to working with World Women League Change. This is a big deal for me. I've been looking for partners like this. I'm really excited.
Cape to Cairo is possible.
Very possible.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Ms. Lerato. Yeah, I think after this session, as I'm the coordinator of Africa, we will have the separate meeting. I will arrange maybe from tomorrow. I will speak with all our country presidents on when can we have a session with yourself, because I will include even all other presidents who are not in the session now, so that we share the knowledge with all of them, and we know where we are going to do some of other projects going forward. So from your side, I think we will do it. And then maybe we can have President Pacha answering what I was asking. I see His Excellency Sirake, he has raised his hand.
All I have to say is it's a matter of speaking to each government in each country, because we have to work with different government in each country.
Sure.
That's fine. President Pacha, can you come in before His Excellency asking the question?
Thank you very much, President Rebecca. I took note of your question regarding the rail structure. Actually, the rail structure in the DRC is really at a poor stage, and we have been trying to make it better. And it is a big project. I will pass on the question to Patrick so he can also answer it better. Yeah, thank you very much. And I'll also connect him with Lerato as she has asked to. Thank you.
Yeah. No, we will connect through our channel, communication channel. So I will speak with you, and then we'll speak with Lerato and President Davy, and I will have that meeting. So it's fine. No. Yeah, President Celestina, you can take His Excellency question. Yeah.
Okay, I think we are approaching to the end of the session, because we already almost 2 hours for this session. Thank you very much for all the participants who's coming today, and also all the speakers for the amazing sharing today.
And Tina, can
yes,
you take the hand of His Excellency Siraki? He raised his hand.
yes,
Yeah.
but I cannot see Mr. Siraki.
Yeah, and he's out. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in. His Excellency, you can ask your question or comment.
Okay, thank you very much. I've been listening to quality presentations from start to the end. I was the first, I think, listening to Patrick from DRC, who seems to have left. I was just going to say merci beaucoup, monsieur, for le bon presentation. DRC is ranked as the world's #1 richest country when it comes to natural resources. But because of lack of human resource to convert the natural resources into tangible wealth, it is one of the poorest when it comes to the people. And there's also a project, I think, that was started of a dam, which, if that dam is completed, it can generate electricity not only for the whole of Africa, but Africa and Europe as a whole to supply that. So the challenges that we have of energy, it can be a thing of the past if world women leading change can bring hands together to make sure that they go and assist in developing infrastructure in that country. Also, the idea of Trans-Africa Rail project, that will be, maybe you work with NEPAD project within the AU as part of promoting infrastructure to promote the smooth intra-Africa trade. Because of lack of infrastructure, we find you get the raw material or the products from one country, they become cheaper to be shipped from Africa, maybe to part of Asia or other places. but because we don't have infrastructure, just to cross into another country, the product becomes more expensive. It has to go to another country, to another continent to come back to Africa. So if we can focus on the infrastructure, it will be a priority for developing the continent. And also of the food security, I think I had the agriculture project. Food security should go with taking into account the climate change and saving our environment. The organic way of doing agriculture doesn't kill our soil, but it keeps our soil for sustainable agricultural or food security. I think that one also will help a lot if we can take into that when we work and we empower women and youth to lead those change. Because historically, as I know, most of those sectors used to be women's sectors. It only became men's sectors after introduction of colonialism, where they took every power away from women. Building houses, it was done by women. We even still see the arts of the Ndebele art, which is example of the African, is done by women. And making clothes and other things, it was done by women. We saw young girls carrying water. When supply or water industry or sector becomes profitable, rent water boards and others, they push women away. When we know that is a women's sector, you saw them carrying, that has been actually women doing that. But also for energy, it used to be women's area. But when colonialism comes, they sideline women and they say women's place is in the kitchen. When God created women, women's place was everywhere. It was not in the kitchen. For us to be everywhere, we are empowered by women. So if we empower women, you empower the world, you empower the community, you empower God's creation. We appreciate the quality presentations that we would like to see that from Cape to Cairo, Morocco to Madagascar. We want to see rail lines that will be making intra-Africa trade easier and led by women. And then there will be peace in the world when Africa is fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Saraki. The next, we're going to have a quick announcement from our President Rebecca about the how to apply for the new membership and also the agenda. Over to you, President Rebecca.
Okay, no, thank you very much, President Tina. Maybe I will start with the announcement of us meeting with various presenters who presented today. Anika, tomorrow we will communicate. Kobas, thank you very much for bringing Anika to us. I think we are going to do a lot with the Hill project. And then Lerato, thank you very much. We are still going to talk a lot. Mr. Ambassador Levi Motebenyane, tomorrow we are still going to continue with our sessions, speaking on how we are going to plan the way forward for WWLC and ATB. President Pacha, President Chase, we are going to always continue to have our sessions. And then after today, because last week I said, we had all the part sessions. Today it was part 5, which was our last session for all Africa continent president to present what their countries are and then what can we do as WWLC. So from next week, which is the 1st of November, we are going to have other speakers, but now we are not going to focus on what we are going to do, because currently we do have now what we must do going forward. So we'll have other speakers who will come and educate us on other things, including the investment side, including empowering women on other sectors, even if in also in infrastructure. So those sessions we'll have for the 1st, the 8th, and the 15th of November. And then afterwards, we will now start to have our smaller sectors sessions and moving forward on what we are going to do. So now I just want to say to all who wants to join us, besides those who are going, we are going to speak on the collaborations of the MOU or the partnership. If you want to be a member, there, can you share that poster, Celestine?
Yeah.
We have our administrator, who's the President Leseho. She's also the president of Youth Leading Change.
Nadia.
If you want to join or WWLC, for currently our membership is still free. You can contact President Leseho on this contact number +27. It's the South African number 79830588, or email President Leseho on info@wwlc@gmail.com. And WWLC, we have a lot of apps that we can use, but before you can go to our apps, President Leseho will guide you on what you must do first as a member, even when we go forward as partners, as also when we have signed the MOUs, we'll also inform you on what you should do going forward. So thank you very much, President Tina, and thank you all who joined in today. And thank you, His Excellency. We really appreciate your support. Your support is making us to be where we are today. If we didn't have men like you, we wouldn't be here where we are today. Thank you very much. For
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have muted.
Okay. The poster, President Tina, you can put it, the poster. We have various sectors, and we have sessions in each and every sector. Tomorrow is Monday. We have creative arts leading change. Tuesday, we have wellness leading change. Wednesdays, we have technology leading change. Thursdays, we have real estate leading change. Fridays, it's leadership leading change. Saturdays, it's kids leading change, and we have youth leading change, and we have infrastructure, agriculture, and yeah, real estate. We just included on our Sunday sessions also. But all these other sectors, it's global. Some are being heading by our global presidents, and some with our Africa presidents. So these are all the sectors that we are having, but our intention is to add more sectors that we can have as world women leading change in Africa. So thank you very much, Tina, and thanks all who attended today.
Thank you very much, President Rebecca. So now we are approaching to the end of the session. I would like to ask one of the president to lead us for the closing prayer. Can I ask President?
Yeah, we can ask the Dauphin. Yeah.
President Dauphin, would you please lead us for the closing prayer? I think President Dauphin's not there. Maybe President.
Maybe President Kiketso can close, and after the closing prayer, Nadia must play our closing song.
I'm here, President Debbie. I'm here.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
President Debbie, I'm here.
Yes.
You can continue with the closing prayer, President Dauphine.
Thank you. Can I pray now?
Yes.
Hello? Okay.
Yes.
Shall we pray? Shall we pray?
Yes.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we want to worship you and thank you for the day. We want to thank you for all the presenters who are giving us insights in all the sectors of development and also leading WWLC to have change in most of the sectors. We thank you, Lord, even for the last presenter who showed us the pictures of how women are suffering crossing rivers. Father, even for those others who presented earlier, who also showed us what opportunities are available for us to get into. We thank you, Father, for all the leaders on this platform. We thank you for the guests. We thank you for the founders. We thank you for all the knowledge that is being shared. A rare occasion that in most cases we have to attend the expensive conferences, but here we are just listening on phones. The only cost is just Wi-Fi. We thank you, Father, because you have made this possible for all of us. Thank you, dear Lord. May you open our brains. Give us more insight. Help us to understand as our presenters are bringing topics to us, as these meetings are being unfolded. Lord, we pray that you help us attend these meetings without fail so that we can learn more. For all this, Lord, as we part one from another, from this platform, going to our various places, may you protect us from all man-made machines that are liable to failure and accident. We thank you, Father, because you are a great God. For all this, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
President Dauphine, for the prayer. So we can continue with the our song, WWLC song.
We are the woman leading change, leading change. We are the woman leading change, leading change. We are the woman leading change, leading change. We are the woman leading change for our people, for our countries, for everyone in the world. Love, peace, needed in this world. Endurance, needed in this world. Forgiveness, needed in this world. Unity, needed in this world. Yes, African woman leading change. Antarctican woman leading change. Yes, Asia woman leading change. Yes, Australia woman leading change. Yes, Europe woman leading change. Yes, North America. Yes, South America woman leading change. Kalirato fella, Kalirato fella, woman leading change. Kalitabo fella, Kalitabo fella, woman leading change. Gotando pella, Gotando pella, woman leading change. Yes, Indonesia. Yes, Ayla. Yes, Ayla, woman leading change. Yes, Indonesia. We thank you, world woman leading change.
Wow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Love
Thank
and
you.
light.
Thank
Love
you.
you, ladies.
Thank
God
you.
bless
Thank
you.
you.
Have a fabulous day.
Thank you.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank you and good evening.
Have a good day,
You're
everyone.
looking so smart, President Rebecca.
Yes,
thank
she's
you.
So nice.
Yeah, President
Thank you.
Aida, where is your face today? You are
President
tired
Ayla,
today.
where are you?
They are busy traveling with Tina. Ne?
I think I saw her logo for it already.
The princess is fine.
Ibu. Mereka mau lihat Ibu.
Okay, Tina, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Tina.
Pacha.
Thank you,
Bye,
President
bye.
Pacha. Thank you, President Chase. Thank you very much. That was a good presentation. Mm. I'm looking forward for your session on
Rebecca, I like
Tuesday.
Okay, I'm
Give me
coming
that
for
jacket.
pointers tomorrow.
Hmm?
I'm
You
coming
like
for
what,
pointers
President Aida?
tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.